Well, throughout this week, we've been following the case of Steve Perkins, a man shot and killed by Decatur police exactly 1 week ago. Since then, his family has been demanding answers, and the community has been lining the streets demanding answers too. Our Sedona Meadows was outside Decatur City Hall this evening where those demonstrations were happening, and here's the story.
This whole week, hundreds of people have gathered to honor the life of Steve Perkins. He was shot outside of his home by Decatur police on September 29th and later died at Huntsville Hospital. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is currently investigating the case and originally released a statement saying Perkins was armed with a handgun and during the incident, quote, brandished the weapon towards an officer with the Decatur Police Department, causing the officer to fire at Perkins, end quote. This evening, a large crowd came together in protest of his death, all urging for answers and for body cam footage to be released.
We are out here to protest the violent murder done to Steve Perkins. This is a community that loves Steve.
I want to see more progressive policing. I want to see, changes in body camera footage and how that is given to the public. I want to see changes in how the DA reacts to how DAs across the country react to this type of situation.
Earlier today, we spoke with Mayor Tab Bowling, who says he hopes the family gets answers too and that the city grows from this.
I believe that there's a chance that we'll be stronger as a result of it. It's definitely a learning opportunity for the city. We've never been in anything like this. We never want to go through anything like this again. But here we are, and now's the time for us to show transparency, be real in that, compassion, be good listeners.
But for some Decatur residents, they don't feel as if city officials are doing enough.
We will not stop until he has justice, and we will not stop until they change policy in this community to represent this community and protect us, because that's what we pay them for.
For too long they said, well, we need training, but the training works for everyone else, but my ethnicity, my group. The training doesn't work for us, and it seems that the training is actually, to oppress and suppress us.
In Decatur, Sedona Meadows, Fox 54 News.
And we will continue to follow this story. A celebration of life is scheduled for Perkins tomorrow.
But that doesn't define a city.
1 week after the Decatur police shooting of Stephen Perkins, the city is still coping with the immeasurable weight of the incident. That tops News 19 at 6. I'm Christine Killemeyer.
And I'm Jerry Hayes. Today, Decatur city leaders came together to answer questions on camera for the first time since the incident.
Now, those leaders included Mayor Tab Bowling, Police Chief Todd Pinion, Fire Chief Tracy Thornton, and retired Youth Services Director for the city, Bruce Jones. They all had some requests from members of the community. First, to continue to pray for the Perkins family, as well as the city and its police department. Second, try to be patient through this investigation. But they also asked them if they continue to protest, please continue to do so peacefully.
We have to let the process take care of itself. We have to be patient and let the people who we have put in these positions to take care of these type things and to be transparent and be honest, we have to trust that they're going to do that. If something happens and we're not in agreement when we do hear answers, well, let's deal with that then. But to rush to judgment and to let our emotions get out of control and to decide that violence is the answer, that's not us. That's not us in Decatur. That's not who we are.
Meanwhile, this is a live view of the 6th straight day of peaceful protesting in the River City. Loved ones and neighbors waited until 5:30 this evening to officially begin gathering outside of City Hall. Many spent the day at today's public viewing for Stephen Perkins. And Decatur police shot Perkins just before 2 a.m. last Friday. He later died at the hospital from his injuries. Police arrived outside his home on Ryan Drive at the request of a tow truck driver. The driver said he went to Perkins' home earlier that night to try to repossess a vehicle. And he said Perkins threatened him with a gun. When officers came back with the driver, they say Perkins again came out threatening them with a gun. Authorities say Perkins then pointed that gun at an officer who then shot him. Many, though, say Perkins only had a flashlight that night and the tow truck driver was at the wrong house.
It was just pow, 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 pow. And I had called the police because my alarm system didn't go off. and they said, don't go outside, it's not safe.
Now, the investigation into this officer-involved shooting was then handed over to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, which is typical in a situation like this. Meanwhile, Sunday, protests began, with many calling for transparency into that investigation and answers about why this even happened.
If you hear something commotion at your house, to step out on your front lawn where you pay the mortgage, that your house, where you lay your head out at night, it should not be unlawful to go out to try to check on, see what's going on. And as soon as you step out on your front lawn, you be murdered, shot 7 times by the police.
Those protests continued into Monday, asking for the release of body camera video. Decatur Police Chief Todd Pinion said his hands were tied. That video was now part of Aaliyah's investigation, and it was no longer his call. That response, though, did not slow protesters. They gathered again Tuesday. This time, they weren't outside Decatur City Hall in the police department. They gathered outside a hotel along 6th Avenue in Decatur. The reason? Alabama Governor Kay Ivey was in town for a legislative update luncheon, and she answered News 19's questions about the shooting.
That case is being investigated by Aaliyah. And until they finish their investigation, there's not a whole lot to say. I trust Aaliyah, and our job is to protect law enforcement officers as well as the public safety, and we will stay true to that mission.
Then Wednesday, Perkins' family announced it had retained National Civil Rights Attorney Lee Merritt to help them seek justice and accountability. Merritt then met with the Morgan County District Attorney Scott Anderson Thursday afternoon.
Before we talk about the terrible acts of the men who put him away, and before even that evidence that eventually will come out that shows him being ambushed and murdered, we want the community to know that he was a man, that he was loved, that he was a benefit to this community, and there's a reason that a fight is about to come with it.
And just last night, hundreds of people, galvanized by their grief, held a vigil for Perkins. His wife and 2 daughters were there, along with dozens of family members, even more loved ones. Today, Aaliyah released that Perkins' body has officially been transported to the Alabama Department of Forensic Science for an autopsy. It's also asking for anyone with any more information about the shooting to call its confidential tip line. Once Aaliyah's investigation is complete, those findings will be turned over to the Morgan County District Attorney to decide if the case needs to be presented to a grand jury. Funeral services for Stephen Clay Perkins will be held tomorrow, October 7th. The celebration of life will start at 11 a.m. It's happening at the Wheeler Chapel.
Good morning. Today is Sunday. It is October the 15th. The year is 2023. It's a beautiful, little chilly Sunday morning. The dogs are out on the porch having breakfast. I just ate breakfast. I woke up this morning, I was starving. I said, wow, I got to eat something. I just like this. I said, I got to get me something to eat. I am hungry. So I ended up cooking some breakfast. I made some chicken sausage, biscuits, eggs. I made a delicious big breakfast this morning. Ate it all up. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right. This story kind of broke my heart. We have a black man in Decatur, Alabama, a husband, a father, a business man who owns a truck. For some reason, I'm still getting. I keep trying to find out. It seems as if they were at either the wrong house or they were repossessing the wrong truck. As this man, his family's pointing out, he was not behind in his payments. His payments were current on the truck. I believe the tow company probably may have gotten the wrong order for the wrong repo, and this does happen. But what I don't like what the repo man did was he got the police involved. Now, either that repo man knew those police officers. He had to have known them. He claims he went to the house and the guy came out with a gun, which was, but what should have happened here, because a repossession is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. So this is why I think that repossession guy, the guy who repossessed the truck, he knew those police officers. And when he went back over to that police officer with them, the police officer should have went up and knocked on the door and questioned this man about, did he pull a gun on this guy? Or they trying to repossess? No, but they didn't do that. They went over there, they're going to repossess the truck. And when this man walked out the door with a flashlight in his hand, as soon as he was outside, there's a video of him walking outside and they shoot him dead within seconds. If those police officers meant to go over there and help assist this man, this police, which they had no right to do because this was a civil matter, not a criminal matter. And they felt that this man had committed a crime the first time the repo man, when he said, he killed him out with a gun. Well, why didn't they go over there and knock on the door? They should just went over there, knocked on the door, and said, hey, this guy says that he's here to repossess a car, you came out here with a gun, blah, 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 blah. They didn't do that. They didn't do that because they knew that they was in the wrong when they came over there with that repossession man. Because police are not supposed to get involved with repossession because that is a civil matter. That's between you and the finance company, and that's who and if the repo man has no right to get the police involved to get a repo a damn car. They can't just call the police and say, we here to repo a car, so we're going to have police backup. They can't do that. That is illegal. It's illegal. Now, I don't know what to say about these. This man was shot and killed on his own property. We are black folks in America. I have a rule over here at this house, and I've had this rule at every house I've ever lived in. At a certain time, I don't go outside. I just don't. When it's dark, middle of the night, dark, I don't go out there. A few months ago, I had parked one of these cars in the driveway, and obviously I had forgot to lock the door. So I'm laying in bed, and I hear the car alarm go off. Do y'all think I ran out that door to see what was going on out there in that driveway? I did not. I got up, walked into the kitchen. I hit that thing, cheep, 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 cheep. I looked out the window, opened the blind, looked out the window, didn't really see nothing or nobody. And I went back upstairs and went to bed. Fuck that damn car. It could have been 8,000 people running around that damn driveway. I wouldn't go out there. So I know that this man was trying to protect his property, y'all, but this is he went out there with a flashlight to see what was going on with these crazy people, and they shot him dead. They shot him dead. I wish he had stayed in his house and called the police. Ultimately, his payments were current. Whether it was the police or strangers or whatever, I wouldn't have went out there myself personally. That's just how I feel. I've been in homes, there was disturbances taking place out in the street and all this stuff going on. I looked out the windows and closed. Listen, one time me and Earl lived up in Buckhead in this apartment he rented. It was about the size of this room for an outrageous amount of money. Okay. And there was all this gunfire outside. I'm in the kitchen, I heard all this gunfire. Do you think and I looked out the window, I saw these other people running around, and everybody after the gunfire was everybody running around outside. I never stepped foot out there. Well, they might be still out there shooting. I think my head's in the house where it was safe. I said, what the fuck I'm going out there for? Who am I going? I don't know. I'm not a paramedic. When the police finally got there, I just peeked out the windows. And the guy was like, he came up there and said, did you see anything going on? I said, I didn't see nothing. I said that through the window. I didn't even open that door. I was just looking. I didn't go out there. Finally, I closed my blinds. Man, the night, why am I going out there? Then people might swing back through and do another drive-by over there. I'm not stupid. And this man had every right to protect his truck on his driveway. Yes, he did. But I wish he had stayed in that house and called the police. And called them bad, nasty bastards and then what they were doing. That tow truck driver knew those police officers. He had to have known them. And they handled it wrong. All the police should have done was walked up the door and knocked on the door. And they didn't do that. And announced their presence. These are some dirty-ass police officers in Decatur, Alabama. I don't know if y'all have heard this story. The guy, I think he was, I don't forget his age. He was married, hold on a second, I pulled it up. Well, you just saw 2 news articles. Okay, and here's another thing. Decatur attorney explains fine print of Alabama's repossession law and its effect on civil liability. This is an interesting article. When you look at Alabama's repossession statute, it seems relatively vague on the surface. However, a Decatur area attorney says looking at the additional context makes all the difference. The Decatur Police Department says the fatal encounter with Mr. Perkins began with a repossession effort. News 19 has learned that Alabama code states that a secured party can proceed with a repossession order either with a court order or without a court order if the party does without a breach of the peace. So, the section does not authorize a secured party, which would be finance companies or whoever's doing the repossession, without a court order to utilize the assistance of a law enforcement. So, the only way they could have brought them police over there is if they had a court order. They broke the law. I know this. Y'all, I've been dealing with this shit forever. I've had cars repossessed before. In order for them, the police to have showed up with that repo man to get that truck, they should have had a court order from the court authorizing police officers to assist with the repossession of that vehicle. And they did not have that. They didn't have it. This section does not authorize a secured party, which would be the finance company or whoever's doing the repossession, without a court order to utilize the assistance of a officer. They have to have a court order. He said the judicial comments printed in the state code would take it a bit further. A number of cases have held repossessing secured parties used of a law enforcement office without benefit of the judicial process that constituted a failure to comply with the law. So bringing out a law enforcement officer without the benefit of the judicial process, a court order, going through the court system, going through a judge, going in front of a judge, getting this document, it's a failure. They broke the fucking law. So what does this mean in the terms of Perkins' case? Authorities say his vehicle was being repossessed, and they allege he pulled a gun on the tow truck driver. Cole said if that's what happened, the driver should have completely retreated at that point instead of returning with the police. That's what should have happened. The facts as we know them, based on the videos that are out there, at least the reporting initially, I don't think there's an argument that the tow truck driver did not breach the peace. Cole says civil liability could go beyond the tow truck driver. The secured party, which would be the finance company or whoever holds the note on the car, they can be held responsible for the breach of peace that's performed by the third-party contractor, which would be the tow truck driver. So according to the official commentary and according to the case law in Alabama, absolutely the finance company and the tow truck driver could be held civilly responsible for this man's death. They did it wrong. The only way the police can show up with anybody to repossess your car or something like that is with a court order. It's like an eviction. They have a court order to evict you and remove you from the property, and the police show up there with a court order and evict you. This is why I said that tow truck driver knew those police officers. Those were his buddies. He knew them. I ain't stupid, y'all. Y'all might think I'm a crazy man just sitting here on the internet with a shirt off. But oh no, when I first started, I said, wait a minute. He knew them. Then with his friends. They help him they help him repo the car because he makes money off of it. That's what happened. And they broke the law. So it'd be interesting to see what happens as they proceed forward. When well, there's a lot to say about this. And there's another retired repo man weighs in on car repossessions in Alabama. There are a ton of stories. So legally in Alabama, this is what another repo man in Alabama said. If somebody comes out, and it may be nationwide, but if somebody comes out and objects to the repossession, technically they can go back into the house and you have to leave without that vehicle. In the terms of the Daily Decatur shooting of Steve Perkins, Andrew says that it puzzles him as to why the truck driver fled the scene when Perkins allegedly threatened him with a handgun and then returned to Decatur police. Because that's not what happened. That ain't what happened. It's a tragic situation. I don't know anything about the shooting part. I don't know a thing in the world about the police in the shooting part. But to me, the police should never have been called. If the repo man called, he should have never have done that. I don't know what he was thinking he was going to do. Evidently, he doesn't know the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act that tells you if the police show up, the repo is over. Either he doesn't know or he doesn't care. They broke the law, y'all. They don't care. This man is dead. Because of an ignorant repo man and his buddies who work for the police department, they know each other. So it'd be interesting to see how this moves forward over the next few weeks. And we got dirty police officers, dirty politicians, dirty repo men, dirty banks. Everybody just in it for the money. He might have been paying them a little bit of cash on the side to assist him with this repo, but they didn't realize it was going to turn into a deadly shooting. They had no business, those police officers had no business being at that man's house with that repo man. They violated the law. That's a civil matter, not a criminal matter. And if they wanted to bring the police out there, they should have went to court, got a court order, and come back with the police to repossess that car, which is going to be almost impossible to get. So that's why he did what he did. But anyway, y'all, I don't like this story. It kind of, it said it was an ambush. Alabama man killed by police in ambush during truck repossession. He was only 39 years. 39 years of age. He didn't have any time to react to an officer's command before he was fatally shot at his home indicator. He just walked out and started shooting. And they weren't supposed to be there any damn way. Well, if you don't know, his name is Steve Perkins. This story took place in Decatur, Alabama. This situation, it happened on September 29th. Decatur, Alabama is about 30 miles southwest of Huntsville. You all can read the story. I put some links up there on it, but I think I just thought this was a tragic event. And I hate that this happened. This innocent man was killed over some bullshit. These people violated the law and violated his rights. Took upon themselves to shoot and kill him, to execute him for no reason. And in his own driveway, in his own, outside his own house, on his own property. I mean, they may get away with it. That's the sad part about this, dealing with these ignorant ass police officers. That's why I don't go outside my house at nighttime or during the day. I've had there was a situation a few years back when there was a police officer. Something happened in the neighborhood I was living in. The police officer was knocking on everybody's door. I didn't open up their door. I looked out and saw the police out there knocking. I went back upstairs and got in bed. I was like, okay. I don't open up my door to police officers, honey. I'm sorry, I can't help you. They'd called me and said, did you see anything? That's a different story. But they were going from door to door, knocking on the door, all these people turning around. I didn't see shit. I didn't know anything going on anyway. I just went back upstairs. I did not over there because I lived off Boulder Crest Road. I was not going out there to see what was going on. What's going on, officer? No, I went upstairs. I peeked out the windows and saw the others. I went back upstairs. I crept upstairs and got in bed. I was napping any damn way. I went back to sleep. I'm the type of neighbor that mind his damn business, y'all. Ain't got shit to do with me now. What you want me to do? Nothing I can do. But when it happened, it's happened. Somebody done stole your shit. Somebody got shot. What y'all want me to do? I ain't seen shit. I didn't. Now, if I saw something, it'd be a different story. I saw this guy run that direction. I ain't seen nothing. I'm in the house. So, anyway. Well, I just wanted to do a video about this story and keep an eye on this horrible situation. Today is Sunday. It is October the 15th. You all you can Google some of this stuff. Like I say, his name is Steve Perkins. He was the Alabama father and husband who was killed by the police in an ambush during a truck repossession, which should never have happened. They violated this man. They broke the law. They should have never been with that repo man to go back over there to get that car. The police should not have been giving this man protection of the repo man any type of cover at all, because that's illegal without having a court order. They didn't have that. And you ain't gonna get one either. It's very rare, it's very rare that the court system is gonna issue on a repossession, which is a little bit different than an eviction. Very rare on a repossession that they're going to issue a court order for police to assist with this repo. It don't happen that often. You'd be hard pressed to find that. I don't know about other states, but I know down here in Georgia and in Alabama, that ain't the case. Anyway, today is Sunday, October 15th, the year is 2000. and 23. And I look forward to reading you all's thoughts and comments about this horrible situation. I'm out of here and enjoy the rest of this beautiful, gorgeous Sunday.